Well, what do you think of this color? Is it not beautiful? Welcome everybody to part 1 of the guide on Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. Now for this video we will be going over his basic variation, not the custom variation. We'll save that for part 2. This is part 1. So we'll be going over the basics of this character, everything he's naturally able to do regardless of his custom moves. We'll go over his basic skills, which, to be honest, his custom variation is very lacking. It has more strike skills than it has key supers. In fact, I think he only has 3 key supers. If I'm not mistaken, he has Key Blast Cannon, Divine Retribution, and Key Blast Cannon, Divine Retribution, and Sudden Death Beam are the only freaking Key Blast supers he has access to in his custom variation. He's very limited. But we'll be going over the basic skills that he has access to in his first variation. The stamina break setups, combo loops, combo cancels, optimization. But without further ado, let's get into it with those stamina breaks. Sorry about that. I'm a little bit tired. But first off, he has one heavy. One heavy will link a light stamina break. However, it is possible, but it's just not practical at all. Like, look at how slow this thing is on startup. You're never going to be able to throw this out in neutral. Like, you can kind of make it faster by making a micro dash, but there's like no way to combo into this. And your opponent's never going to just get hit by this outright. It's too slow. 2 will also work. You got to time this properly though. You got to do it very early. Otherwise, they can block it. See? You got to do it as early as possible. 3 will also work. Same concept. Do it as early as possible. And then 4 will also work. Now, if you want to do 5, you're going to have to spend the bar. And he's actually a character that it really doesn't hurt him that bad to spend a bar, because he has the I like you better when you're mad Super Soul, which makes it to where my stamina will recover very fast when you break me, whenever my stamina's been broken. It also gives me, I think, 2 bars of key, 2 or 3 bars of key whenever I break my own stamina. Yeah. Or whenever somebody breaks my stamina. And that also includes just getting your guard broken by blocking. Not just stamina breaks as a mechanic, no. That includes if your opponent breaks your guard, like with an ultimate attack or something like that, yeah. The Super Soul will still activate. At least that's what I think it does. Like, I haven't tested it in a while, because I usually don't use this guy, because he's actually quite limited in what he's capable of doing in terms of tech. I mean, he's not limited, but he's like got the most basic variations of tech. Now then, the other way that you can do it is like this. But this is only on the ground. You can only do this on the ground. You can either do 2. Just like UI Omen Goku, if you do this anywhere but the ground, they will roll out of it. This cannot combo into heavy. See, they do have time to roll. And if they can vanish right there, they can also roll. It's just a bit too slow on startup to be able to reliably hit. Then he's of course got this one here. This is the one that most people are aware of. And this is probably his best option, to be perfectly honest, aside from this. Square Triangle will also link it. And of course on the ground, this will also link a light and heavy stamina break because it makes them bounce. This combo here will also link a heavy stamina break. And then if you want to do a stamina break after the full combo here, you can spend the bar, or preferably you can complete the combo and do this instead. Use instant transmission to get to them quickly, and you have enough time to stamina break them after that. Like so. See? Now you could use the stamina to get down there to him, but using instant transmission is better because it's fast, and because of the fact that you're not wasting precious stamina. This can also link heavy. Which is just simply his full square combo. This will only work close to the ground, however. If you try and do that around this, if you try and do that up here, at this level of the map, it will not work. They can't roll out of it at that point. Then the other method that he has is this. This one's a little bit awkward though, so keep that in mind. The camera can make it a little bit difficult to do. You gotta flick your stick to the right slightly in order to make it properly link. You can't just do it. You can't just do it normally by flicking it forward up towards your opponent. You gotta flick it slightly to the right or the left, depending on the camera angle. And you can also link a heavy with this if you time it right. As you see right there. Get a back to card from start real quick. Now, for those of you who are thinking, no, you cannot stamina break after this one hit. That fist, it looks like you should be able to, but his stamina break is just a little bit too slow on startup to be able to link it properly. See? Just a little bit too slow. It would work if it was a different type of stamina break, like, say, a Woken Hits stamina break, for example, which is really fast. Yeah, that would work if he had that instead. But he doesn't have that. Then he's got this one here. Only links heavy stamina break. You cannot link a light stamina break with this, because they will fly underneath it, and it will whiff. Then he's got this one here. This one's a little bit awkward. Same concept, but you gotta delay it just a little bit because they fly towards you pretty slow. You cannot do it after this because he is turned around, so you cannot link a stamina break after that. But after the final hit of his triangle, square, triangle combo, that is where you can link it. And this will also link a heavy. Hold on a sec. See? Now, and as long as the lag isn't absolutely abhorrent, you can link this. But keep in mind, auto vanish combos tend to glitch online when there's a bunch of lag. Well, not really glitch, but they break. They break when there's lag. Now then, I do believe that's it for the stamina break setups. Now let's get into those loops. Now, of course, he has this one here, which most people are aware of. This is by far his best one. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it stuns your opponent, keeps them standing. And it absolutely ravages their stamina bar. Their stamina is going to be recovering very, very slow whenever you hit them with this combo. So you can loop it a lot. Look at how many times I was able to loop it when he was at the lowest stamina possible. You can add more hits onto it beforehand as well. As you see right there. Yeah, this is definitely his best loop because of that feature. It works like a standing combo. Despite it knocking them off balance, he just hits you so hard with this knee that it just causes their stamina to get ravaged. Now after that knee, and that you can kick right there, and then he allows continuation. With proper timing and a good amount of speed, it'll capture. Keep in mind though, online this can be iffy. They can just roll out of it if they mash square when you're hitting them with it. Then he's got this one here. Same concept. This hurts a lot. This will cause your opponent to vanish a lot if you use this on them. Because look at the damage. This is by far his heaviest hitting combo. Then he's got this one here, of course. This will also cause your opponent to vanish because look at the damage. Very heavy hitting square triangle combo. And then after the final hit of this full combo here, you can obviously continue it. Then he's got this one here, which either has a flight cancel or a block cancel, as you see right there. So you can obviously do this. As long as the connection is pretty stable, this will work. Then after that same combo, after this kick, it also has a flight cancel window, so same concept. And after the final hit, right here, this also has a block. And obviously, if you want, you can also do this. So, as you can see, the damage isn't that great. And it takes a long time to rack up that damage with this combo. But it is possible to loop that, as you see right there. When you're close to the ground, of course. And then he has this method here. You can either just step like this, or you can fly up and catch them. It's better to fly up, in my opinion, because it's just a lot more consistent online to catch them like this. And then finally he's got this right here. This is a back hit setup. However, be very careful about this combo online. You gotta delay it quite a bit depending on the height of the map, because it tends to break online. And then the final loop option that he has is the ending portion of his triangle square triangle combo. Right here it has a block edge. And of course, after that final hit, you can also continue. See? And that is it for his loops, everybody. He has quite a few. And this is one of the strong points of this character. He has a lot of good cancels. Unlike most of the later DLCs in the game, Rose Goku Black was one of the more well-made and properly constructed DLC characters. He's not pay to win. He's not a Blue Gogeta, but he's definitely solid in terms of his movement speed, his combo cancels, and all that. He does not need key canceling like UI Omen Goku does, for example. Or like Kefla or Baby. Yeah, this guy does not need it. In fact, he becomes quite annoying to fight whenever you see somebody playing him like any other character. Yeah. He's up there with characters like Bardock and other characters like that online whenever you're fighting somebody who does this constantly. Or who does this constantly. His key cancels every freaking millisecond. Yeah. Of course he can key cancel, but it's not really something that you have to do. That's it for his loops. Now let's get into the skills. Now he has Sudden Death Beam, which is a counter skill. Or you can also use it as a teleport. It's not the most generous timing in the world, but it will counter stuff. Be careful though, it is quite slow compared to GT Vegeta's counter, so it can just be outright blocked sometimes. Depending on the attack that you counter, if it has enough frames to actually block in between it, yeah. Like right there, he could have back hit me online and just I-framed through the blast entirely. Had he back hit just a little bit earlier. Or with a dash kick, for example. If he'll do it again. Hold on, let me. Goku tends to dash kick a lot. Come on, Goku. There we go. Right there, if a player could actually just straight up turn around and perfect block that blast because of how freaking slow this thing is. So just keep that in mind. It really isn't that good of a counter skill. Stop it, Goku. Alright, now his only offensive super in his base kit is Divine Retribution. But, to be honest, that's all he needs because his skill does so much. As you see right here, it's loopable to an extent, except you gotta time it right on this. If you don't time it right, they can just roll out of it for some reason after combos like that. It's very weird. And you gotta be careful about that. Sometimes the gravity pull on the ground can sometimes just make you miss. See? So if you want to make full use of that, you can do this instead. But even then, sometimes it'll just go right underneath them and not catch them because the gravity, the physics of this game on the ground, for some reason there is gravity physics in this game. When you're on the ground, you cannot just leap in the air immediately whenever you dash, no matter how you angle your stick. Unless you do this, you can't. So unfortunately, it can be a little bit weird. But you can combo into it quite easily. It just depends on the timing that you hit him on it. See, it sometimes just does not work. There's many times where I can actually get it to work properly though. It's just the timing. The timing that you actually hit them on it, it's very awkward. If you hit them too early, it'll make them bounce in the air. If you hit them too late, it'll make them bounce in the air. Because the physics in this game are very weird. The physics in this game are not like any other Dragon Ball game in existence. They're very weird and they're very inconsistent and, to be honest, very unrealistic. But that's Divine Retribution. It's a very good combo ender and combo extender if you time it right, like this right here. And as you see right here, I can loop it. As long as my opponent doesn't have a bunch of lag on their side, they cannot get out of this. Recovery is on. It's just a very good combo ender, and this is definitely your best combo extender and combo ender by far. And I'll get into why that is when we get into optimization. Then he's got instant transmission. Now, this skill is best for that stamina break setup I showed you earlier. involving his full square combo. But it's also good for people who are unaware of the difference between the telegraphs on these moves. You see how similar the animation is? However, the difference between these is there are two things. One is that instant transmission is slightly faster. Divine Retribution is actually quite slow compared to it. But if you listen closely, the audio tell is also different. And if you also look closely, the particle effects are different on these skills. So if you're fighting somebody who knows what to look out for whenever using these skills in tandem with each other, it can be a little bit useless. But if you're fighting somebody who is unaware of these differences, you can use this to kind of create some pseudo shenanigans. If you constantly use instant transmission to get behind them, and just harass them, and then they try and back hit you or something like that, use sudden death beam to get behind them and blast them in the back as a punish. That's how I like to use it anyway. But I don't really like using this skill because, like I said, sudden death beam is just it needs to be faster. That's the only problem it has. The blast just needs to come out faster. Or it needs to combo extend at least. Something. Now let's get into his ultimate skills, because I am not going to mention maximum charge. First off, he's got Rose Black Kamehameha. He has two unique ultimate skills that come from him alone. This one is a stronger variation of the regular Super Black Kamehameha. It hits a lot harder at the cost of more ki. As you see right there, it does a whopping 11,785 damage on this character. Pretty insane. Especially considering you can unvanishable this. If you time it right, it's very weird. It's better to do it with this combo instead. This combo is definitely the easiest to land it on. Of course, you can also do it after this combo here. It's just a very good unbanishable ultimate. This is the best thing. This is the thing that it's best for, is for just getting big damage in and scaring the absolute hell out of your opponent. Like, oh god, they just tried to hit me with an unvanishable ultimate. That's what this skill is meant to do. If you have somebody complain to you about using it like this, that is literally what it's designed to do. Even back before Super Black Kamehameha got that buff where it does the exact same thing, Super Black Kamehameha, the original, used to not do that. The difference between those skills used to be that this thing did the exact same amount of damage, but it was an inescapable variation. That used to be the difference between these two skills. Now this skill does more damage, but they both do the exact same unvanishment. If you have somebody complaining to you about this, just tell them that's literally how the skill is built to be used. But that's Super Black Kamehameha. Now let's see Divine Lasso, which is probably one of my favorite skills in the game when it comes to appearance. This skill is very flashy. It's very... you kind of finesse your opponent. It's one of my favorite attacks that he uses in the series. I get on Dragon Ball Super a lot, but when it comes to the animation, whenever they do good and they just create some of these flashy looking attacks, Divine Lasso is definitely one of my favorite looking attacks in the entire series. It just looks so freaking cool. It reminds me of the blades that he shoots into your body with this. It kind of reminds me of the Needler gun from freaking Halo. But it does a lot of damage, as you see right here. And the best part about this skill is that once you hit them with those blades, your opponent is forced to eat that follow-up explosion. They cannot evasive and they cannot limit burst out of that. This is an anti-limit burst attack. So if they get hit by those final blades, yeah, they're stuck. They're going to eat all that damage. And the best thing is that it's one hit. And as you see, the damage is also very good for a 3-bar ultimate attack. He's got 2 very good ultimate attacks. Now you can unvanishable this as well, though it does require you to get them at the lowest stamina possible, so that they're not able to snap vanish. You do this combo here. And as long as they don't have a 2-bar evasive, that will work. And as you see, damage is quite ridiculous, over 13k. But that is it for that, and Break Strike, nobody really cares. This is a mediocre 3-bar evasive skill. You're better off with Instant Rise or anything like that. The skill, honestly, it needs to cost 2 bars. That's the only problem this skill has, is that it just costs way too many. Now then, let's get into optimization. Now, I'm just going to give you some examples of combos that I would do if you're trying to actually do damage to your opponent. Just basic ways to link the many things that I've taught you so far into basic combos. Careful about that, like I said. This little link here. You can loop it if you want. Delay that charge key blast. Bam. Do whatever you want after that. Like I said, be very careful about that. Divine Retribution can be a little bit iffy when it comes to being on the ground like that, because the gravity physics pull you towards the ground. See? It takes you kind of like getting off the ground for a second in order to actually make it work properly. If your opponent's being particularly stubborn about vanishing, you can also use this to combo into his grab. Which he actually has a pretty cool grab, I should mention. It doesn't have any combo extending capabilities, but it's just a very solid, good long-range, fast grab that does a decent chunk of damage. That's all the damage a grab should really be doing, to be honest. A grab has no business chunking off 50% of your health, like some of these freaking grabs do. You can do that if you want. Mind you, these are just basic examples of things that you can do. You don't necessarily have to do these. I'm just giving you some basic examples of what you can do. Just keep it going. If you had enough ki right there, you could go into Rose Black Kamehameha if they're being particularly stubborn about their stamina usage. Though Divine Retribution is actually a pretty heavy-hitting skill, as you see right there. So they're often going to use their stamina if you hit them with it. It just hits so hard on certain setups. Those are just some basic optimization examples. Now let's get into kill combos. Here you go. Here's a basic one here. And then if that doesn't kill, go on Divine Retribution, kill them. Shine, they're dead. Then we got this one here. You cannot really do anything after that, unfortunately. You want to actually go into this here. You have to do this instead. Here's just another example. Same concept. And if they're being particularly stubborn, you can also grab them if they have just the amount of stamina. I timed it wrong there. Oh, hold on. I actually didn't allow him to recover his health all the way. Hold on a sec. And look at the damage that I'm able to do by looping that combo. Same concept. Now, I'll give you one more example. If you time it right, and if you get the right amount of hits in, you can actually set that up. Better to do it like this. If you want to land a Rose Black Kamehameha, you can. Like this. If you want to do a Divine Retribution after that, you can't really. They roll back too far, and it doesn't have quite enough tracking for it. That's why I said Divine Lasso is honestly the better option to do in stamina break combos. Because Rose Black Kamehameha does not set up that Divine Retribution follow-up. This will always connect online, by the way. That's the best part about this combo, is that it is very consistent online. But yeah, those are just some very basic examples of some kill combos. And that is the end of part 1, everybody. If you liked this video, please leave a like, maybe share, and subscribe if you are new to my channel. It really helps a lot. I appreciate the support, and I do my best to upload as often as I possibly can. I do have a full-time job. So, I do try, but they can be kind of scarce every now and then. Also, Xenoverse 2 can be a little bit of an annoyance every now and then, so I do have to take a break from it every once in a while, like everybody does. But I will see you all in part 2. Thank you all for watching.